What is up, everybody? Back again with another Drinks with Drake. Today I'm with our CEO, El Presidente, Zoom. Zoom, thanks for coming on today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Today you picked your classic drink that you always drink. It's a
Vodka tonic.
vodka tonic.
That's my go-to.
It's on the rocks. Do you always drink it on the rocks?
I drink it with tonic.
So you didn't want the ice?
On the rocks.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Now we got some tonic water. I've never had a vodka tonic before, so.
Oh, it's delicious.
Here, go ahead and pour how much tonic you want in this.
Breakfast of champions.
See, okay, today we are starting kind of early. I believe it's 10:30, so we're getting it going pretty quickly here at ZZP. While you pour that, I will plug our item of the day. Today, you guys can check on the website. We have our hats back in stock, the all black and the black and white. And then it is a strap back too with the little American flag sign. And then the embroidery in the middle, or in the inside. ZZPerformance, EST 2000. We've been around for 19 years now. 19 years ago, did you ever think you would be paying a 22-year-old boy to be drinking on the job?
No.
What was the plan for ZZP? How did it come about?
So there was no plan. There was no plan. You know, I've been always kind of entrepreneurial-ish, and I've done my own thing since I was 20. And I've always, you know, dabbled in this and that and tried different things. And ZZP at that time, it was just one of those things. And in fact, it was a small one of those things. And, you know, I was screwing around with a car, and eventually it was one product and only a few of that product. So I never planned on needing a name or a building or, you know, anything.
Yeah. What car was it, like, the platform set upon? The 3800, right?
3800, the Pontiac Grand Prix. It was my first ever brand new car purchase. Huge deal. I fell in love with that car. I test drove it, that supercharged torque, and I went around town trying other vehicles. Nothing came close. Like that was the car I had to have. So my only decision then was, do I buy the 98 or do I buy the 99?
What'd you go with?
I went with the 99. And that was a good choice because it's a little better than the 98.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you told me this story kind of before when you have like our big meetings here, like kind of how like ZZP came about, but you were just messing around on the forums and you built a part, and then that's how it kind of blossomed into what we have here today.
Yeah, well, my best friend Matt.
Matt Meekoff, shout out Matt Meekoff.
Yeah, shout out. You know, Matt was a car guy. Not me, not so much. But you know, you get into the things your friends do, and I had a '69 Camaro, largely because of him, and I modified that. Horrible disaster, but that kind of set the framework for how I run ZZP. And then when I got the Grand Prix, I got it just because I love the car. And then Matt wanted to modify it. He bought me, I think, a pulley for my birthday. And then, you know,
what a cool gift.
We were in the garage, and you know, I was learning, and you know, we tried the 3-jaw puller at first, and everyone knows how that ends. But yeah, that's how it got started. And then the internet was going a little bit, and so jumped online just to see what was going on. Yeah.
And then boom.
Yeah, I went to a site called Ram Air Tech, no longer around, and they had a $600 throttle body, and I thought, man, that's a lot of money. I wonder if I can do that. So I went to a guy I knew here in town, and that kind of sparked the beginnings of the first product.
Yeah. So was your aspirations always to, I mean, you said you're an entrepreneur, but obviously you're a businessman first. I mean, I guess that goes hand in hand, but I don't feel like did you really think that this was going to be your life, like a car, like automotive business? Because was that your passion back then?
No.
Like, what did you want to do when you were younger?
Well, I went through a few different phases. Like, I wanted to be an electrician for a while. And
really?
Yeah. I dabbled in electronics and still have strong understanding in that field. And then I thought maybe apartments, because that's what my parents were into a little bit. And you know, I couldn't really find my way because I was like a jack of all trades, master of none. Mm-hmm. I had a very broad knowledge set, but I wasn't like really good at anything. But I did know that I was going to be very rich. I knew that I was going to be a millionaire. And I knew it with so much certainty that it just didn't make sense. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why, but it was just a done deal. I remember by the age of 15, knowing that as a certainty, and I was like, yeah, by 25, I'll be a millionaire. And I didn't know how, but
Yeah.
I figured it'd have something to do with investing money and leveraging capital and things like that. I wasn't a millionaire by 25. It was a lot harder than I thought to
Yeah.
be successful. Yeah.
So who did you like model yourself after? I mean, like, I'm sure you had people when you were 15 or like, going through your life that you're like, dang, I want to be more like this guy. Like, who did you put your business kind of model after? Like different companies?
Well, initially, I mean, at that age, I got my first outside job at 15 at McDonald's, and
I feel like that's where every success story starts.
it seems like it.
Shout out McDonald's.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still use a lot of what I learned there here in ZZP.
Yeah.
Crazy story. They have their processes down so well that you learn the importance of that. But anyways, no, I mean, getting started, it was mostly about like investments. Like I was really big in investments, small scale, but investments. My my mom, when I was a kid, I had some savings. I think it was about $15, and we were at Meijer, and she was always making me do the math on how much things cost per ounce and things like that. And so I was kind of savvy with doing numerics and math and figuring out what was the best options and such. And so honey was on sale. It was 16-ounce honeybee honey.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, we use a lot of that, and it always goes up in price every few months. You should invest your money in those honey jars, and then every time I need one, I'll buy it from you at market price. And yeah, so I bought like 15 jars of honey at like 99 cents a piece, and then I sold them to her, and that sort of sparked in my mind, the idea that you could leverage capital to make money.
Yeah.
And that was the foundation of any business idea that I did. You have two principles. You learn how to buy and sell, and you save money so that you can buy things with that money and then sell them for more money.
Yeah.
And that's really how every business I did, largely went.
Yeah. So that's a crazy business model because like now, I mean, obviously I've heard this story so many times working here that, we were such like you started off in like in your garage, and then it grew to like this huge thing. We're looking at like different buildings because we're getting too small for this one. This is our second. Is this our second or third?
This is our third here.
Our third? Okay.
Yeah,
And then
the fourth will be the final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one's going to be like the compound.
Yeah, that'll be the campus.
Yeah.
The campus
Ooh, the
is
campus.
the idea. Yeah. Modeled after Apple's campus.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the idea there. I want to create like a mecca where everyone who loves the sport and loves modifying cars and supports ZZPerformance, they can come and feel like they've arrived at home.
Yeah.
That's the idea. Yeah.
So do you want like our dyno and everything in like the same connected building?
Yeah. Everything there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy to think about, like, because I mean our dyno is across the street now.
Uh-huh.
So if we had just have one huge location, it's gonna be pretty wild.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Nervous and excited. It's always a big step. It's scary.
Yeah, I think it's crazy too that, we have such a crazy culture here at ZZP. Like, it's literally, like, I say it on every single podcast. I mean, obviously you guys have watched before, but how it's such like a family atmosphere. Like, we bicker like family. Like, we have different groups here, but like we're one big family.
Yeah.
But I think it's crazy. How did you want like that type of atmosphere here? Like, did you like put things in place where you're like, okay, I want it to be this type of like atmosphere more than this type?
Well, yeah, there's a few converging principles in that. One of them is based on how we started. And when you're an individual like me, I didn't have any family money. I didn't have any venture capital, anyone supporting me. So it's like, how do you build a business when you have nothing?
Right.
You literally have nothing. All I had was credit card debt. I actually had $60,000 in credit card debt when I started ZZP. Yeah, all my stuff was like maxed.
That's
right?
a lot. You weren't
That's
scared?
A lot. I mean, I wouldn't say I was scared. I was concerned.
Nervous.
I was concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, I had assets because I had a different business at the time. But yeah, it was concerning to have that kind of debt load. Sure.
Yeah.
And, really all you have at that point is you have, who you are as an individual, and then you have your labor. Mm-hmm. But you can't build a business by yourself, no matter how hard you're going to work. It just doesn't happen. So you've got to bring in other people. And in order to get other people to buy into your dreams, it has to be their dream too. So you got to build this family that's going to build their dreams together, and
Loyalty.
that's how ZZP started.
Yeah.
And so that's always kind of an underlying principle inside of ZZP is that, everyone else eats first, I eat second, and that builds the loyalty. When people know that you care about them more than you care about, your own pocketbook finance, they're gonna give you everything they got. They're gonna kill themselves for you.
Yeah.
And that was the only choice I had because I didn't have the money to pay them.
Yeah.
So it was like, hey, come join me on this journey, and we're gonna do something together, and the reward's gonna be, the payout later.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough to have some good people in my life, and they bought into that dream, and they believed in me. And we made it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that continues to today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a lot of like different side businesses and side hustles. I also have a side hustle. I think it's good to have a side hustle.
What's your side hustle?
I knew you were gonna.
You got one
me.
side hustle, two side hustles.
See, like I think you could put. I love '90s. Anybody out there that has '90s clothing you don't want, ship them to ZZP. But
All right.
my side, I like to like look at like vintage clothing and like resell them because like that's like a big deal right now. But yeah, that's like my side hustle. Plus, I got my my day job here at ZZP, which I love. I love my job here, Zoom. But I think it's crazy. You have a lot of side hustlings and stuff. What's the hardest part about like keeping it all under control? Because like you are one of the busiest people I have ever met. You're in, you're out. The Tesla's going all over the place. Like, what's the hardest part about like kind of controlling everything?
The people.
Is it?
The people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the people, and it's not always. It's really trying to grow things, because once you get your, my core team, they're so solid. Like I can leave for forever and my stuff is going to go good. Because
we call them lifers here.
We call them lifers.
Yeah.
Yeah. The lifers know what's up.
Yeah.
And they have learned everything probably that I know, and they continue to learn, and we're all on the journey, right? And so I don't have to worry about that. But to grow a business, you need more people. And every time you add more people, you add more chaos, more drama, a lack of understanding. You got to get people to buy in. You got to have meetings. That is, without question, the hardest part. And, 2 out of 3, you lose. So you put this big investment, everything you got into this individual, and you hope that it pans out. One of my passions is development. And, it doesn't always work out because it's not always a good fit. And, then you got to start over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know how you do it. I see, like, I consider myself, like, I like to be an alpha male. I feel like I would like to be a leader, but you have so much going on. I mean, you got to lose your shit sometimes, right?
No, not generally.
Really?
No, it's like working out. You work out?
Yeah, I mean.
Right.
Yeah,
So
a little
here's the
bit.
thing. First time you go in the gym, those weights are heavy and it hurts real bad.
Yeah.
Right? And then you look at that other big guy and you're like, oh my God, how's he lifting? How's he benching 300 pounds, But he didn't start benching 300 pounds. And that 300 pounds doesn't feel that heavy to him because he worked his way up over years and he's been doing it. And business is exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple questions that people had online, and I have to ask this question. What is the craziest thing that's happened in your 19 years of ZZPerformance?
Some of that is not camera safe.
Yeah,
so,
okay, we'll take those ones out.
So
Pick a story that's camera safe.
I don't know that I would go into everything. There have been so many crazy stories along the way, and believe it or not, we used to have like 100 times more drama inside of ZZP. What then, I don't even know if we were calling it ZZP,
Yeah.
but the business back then. And, one time we used to have like heated arguments and fights. And, I had a different partner I was working with at the time. I believe Henry was in the building, maybe, I'm not sure. But the arguments would get so heated, we'd lock the door so customers couldn't come in.
No way.
Yeah. They would come in. This is old, so I could probably talk about it now. And one time I came up to the building in the morning and I saw all this and heard all the screaming. I walked up, I grabbed the door, I cracked it open, just get blasted with screaming. I closed the door, I walked back over to my car because I'm like, not today, bro. So I get in my car and one of the guys there, he comes running out of the building and he lays down on the pavement behind the wheels of my car.
No way.
Yeah, and he's like, you will have to run me over in order to leave. You're going to get in there and have this discussion.
Long story short, that guy's dead now.
No. So, and right around that same time, one of our employees had, and this is a different argument, the same guy, one of our employees grabbed him and like shook him,
Yeah.
and I think he headbutted him on accident,
Yeah.
So that guy lost his job.
Ugh.
Yeah, but
R.I.P.
that was a crazy time, and one time we got written up in the Spanish newspaper.
What?
Yeah, with some negative press.
In the Spanish newspaper.
Yeah. That one wasn't my fault, but I dealt with it.
They get a lot of clout out there for the Spanish newspaper.
Yeah, it didn't really seem to affect us, but reputation's important to me.
Yeah.
So that bothered me a bit.
What's the thing you're looking forward to the most with like ZZP? I mean, you're still a very young guy. You got a lot of life left in you.
Wow. I guess the biggest thing is the next building.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. And, one of the things that I would like to see developed is a growth strategy that works without me. Because ZZP is very solid without me.
Yeah.
It continues to go whether I'm here or not, and it runs very well. We've got a great team. But what we don't seem to do well, and even I struggle a bit with it, is growing the business. Like new cars, new platforms, new parts.
That's the next thing I was going to ask you.
Yeah, that's hard to get that system running itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you could choose a platform, like I like all the platforms we have. I mean, if you want to give me a Camaro in the spring, that's cool. But if you had to choose another platform like that, we would be able to take on, or if you what's one that you have to pick that one, and then what's one you missed out on, like you wish you would have but you didn't.
Oh, yeah. So those two questions are easy. I'm going to catch tons of flack from our audience for this. I know I am. They're going to hate me, but I'm going to be truthful here. So one of the platforms we missed out on, well, actually two of them. One was the Ford Lightning. Yeah, that supercharged Ford Lightning.
Insert a Ford Lightning here.
It was a decent market, and we probably should have got into it, but it wasn't even on the radar at the time. And then the other one was the Saab, and that was also a little niche market. The 2-liter. It was the predecessor to the Ecotec. So that would have given us a stronger start in Ecotec. That's why I say, like, in hindsight, we weren't looking at it at the time, but in hindsight. Now, what would I get into if I...
this is a dangerous one.
This is terrible, and I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know if anyone's even heard me say this before. This is the first time my own employees heard me say this.
Drink's a drink.
Yeah. It would be the Mustang.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And only for one reason.
What would it be?
Only one reason.
Tell me.
It's the best sounding car that's ever been produced.
Oh God, you know how many comments are going to be on this after you said that?
Oh, I know they're going to hate me for it, but 2007 Transformers, the chase scene.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yep.
The cop car.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah,
bad boy car.
Fell in love, and I'm at some point when people won't kill me over it, I'm going to buy one. Maybe I'll have to camouflage it, so people don't know what it is. But
I think it's kind of funny because you have all these platforms, but you drive a Tesla.
I drive a Tesla.
What do you think
not
of the
all
Tesla?
the time, but
Yeah, I mean you still got the Escalade.
Yeah, but
it's a bad boy car.
It's sweet.
Would you let me drive it?
Yeah, sure.
Are you drunk right now?
No,
You're gonna give me the keys to your Tesla?
Yeah.
What are you,
Yeah,
nuts?
it's insured. As long as you're on our insurance.
I'm on the insurance.
All right. As long as you're on the fleet insurance, you can drive the Tesla.
Oh boy. Well, we do have race season coming up. I always like to end this one up. Obviously, you're the business guy now. You're not in the car racing anymore. But what's like the
I
best?
raced a Tesla last year.
You did.
Casually, yeah. Took it to the drag strip. I wanted to see if all the
the
numbers
hype
were
was true?
Yeah,
Were they?
yeah. It was true.
What'd you run?
I ran 10s.
Okay.
Without effort. I mean, my street tires and 89% charge. Me, 230 pounds or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that car went 10s. Just boom.
Yeah. What do you want to see from we have kind of almost two parts of ZZP. Obviously, everybody knows us for our ZZP race team, and then we have our aftermarket parts where we make most of our money at. But what do you like to see from the race team? Obviously, we're going to be out there doing it, but you just want to see break records all year.
I like the customer interaction.
Yeah.
When customers send My favorite thing, and I know it's a favorite of a lot of employees here, is when we pass around an email from a customer who says, here's what you guys helped me with. You changed my life. You made my dreams come true. My car I always wanted, you helped me build it. Like those kinds of stories. And people send some long ones. And that is, my favorite part of that sport is hearing that we were able to help someone achieve what they wanted, because really that's how I modeled the business. That story, my 69 Camaro, all I did was get steamrolled by businesses, treating me poorly. And I ended up with $20,000 into modifying a car that never went anywhere, and I sold it for the same as I bought it for.
Yeah.
And my vision and passion for ZZP was like, let's not be that.
Yeah.
Let's be a company that actually delivers on, making people's dreams in this sport come true. And so that's what we strive for.
Our word is our bond.
Yeah.
I always end the podcast with this question. It's going to be different for you because, technically this is your show, it's Drinks with Drake, but it's your show.
It's your show, man. It's Drinks with Drake.
Yeah, you're right. It's my
I don't
show.
drink in the morning like this normally.
I do. I'm just kidding. But
Come
what's
to work drunk? We're gonna have to.
I know. Can I leave at noon today? It's 10:30. What's your favorite thing about ZZP? It's kind of a generic question for you because you put everything into this business, but
yeah, that's an easy one. I love being in the engineering side.
Really?
For me personally,
I would have never guessed that.
Oh yeah. If I can be under a hood or building parts, talking to the engineers involved in that process, that is my favorite part of this business.
Really?
Yeah, without question.
Well, Zoom, I appreciate you coming on. We'll definitely have him back. Tune in next week. I believe we have Jordan coming. That's going to be our install bay manager. So we'll catch you guys next week.